Right, what was it like, Dad, in Germany?
Can I speak now?
Jake the Peg.
I say, was called up for national service in 1953 for 2 years. For 2 years, but then I signed on for another year, and I came out in January 1956. I was in the Cheshire Regiment, the 1st Battalion, 22nd Cheshire Regiment, and I achieved 2 tapes of corporal. I first went out down to London and was flown out to Egypt. We landed at Malta first to refuel and what have you, and then flew on to Egypt, and I was out there roughly 18 months.
This is your life.
18 months. So then I went to Cyprus on manoeuvres, eventually came home, and then in the last year I was stationed in Berlin. I was there for about roughly 8 months, and we used to do guards on Spandau Prison, and I really don't know why, because there was only about 7 old men in there, and 2 of them were Admiral Donuts and Rudolf Hess, who actually flew over to England to try and stop the war. And when we used to go past him, he'd be about 6 yards away from me, tending to a little bit of a garden. And there was no way anyone could get over the wall if they had 100 men to try and help them. But we used to put a platoon of men on, and you'd be there for about a week, and then the Russians would take over from us. We'd pass it on to them, and then the Russians would pass it on to Americans. And basically that was it.
And what were the German people like?
Eh?
What were the German people like?
German people were not too bad. We used to go out on patrols with the German police and with the dogs, and they were quite ruthless then. And when the Russians took over from us, every one of them was an officer, because the ranks were that thick they couldn't do it. So, and you sat handed over full ceremony.
And did you ever speak to Hess? Did he ever speak to you?
No, you weren't allowed to, no. It used to be on the top of the wall, like all little places where the guards were, in case anybody broke out or tried to break in. But there's no way they could have got up to do that, because they were getting on then.
Yeah.
But
did you have guns?
Eh?
Did you have guns?
Of course, yeah.
Rifle?
I didn't know. I was a corporal then, so I was like in charge of about 20 fellas or more, on the guard duties. And then also while I was out there, I used to go to the Black Forest. I don't know if you heard about it. Black Forest, where we did a lot of manoeuvres. And where else did I go there?
Well, I'm sorry, I was miles away.
Where did I go beside the Black Forest?
Senalaga.
Used to do a lot of manoeuvres there. And then I came home in 1956, January 1956.
Mum, what was it like for you when Dad was away then?
Terrible.
Why?
Well, I had to pull in to see to it, didn't I? And it wasn't easy.
How did you have Pauline to see to? I came home when she was born.
Oh no, but you were away for a little while when
Only at
you
the
went.
day.
No.
Only
That's
at the
right,
day.
yeah.
Till I came out.
That's right, yeah.
Now,
I told you like my memory's going.
And what happened? Where were you? Where was you in Egypt when?
I was out in Egypt for 18 months.
With the scorpion?
On the Suez to Cairo main road.
Your mate got shot there, didn't he?
Yeah, it Downs, yeah. We were all in tents, like, and this corporal, camp corporal, the food, and he was due to come home, because he'd done his time, and one of the guards went in there, because you always had your rifles, like, and I was a private then, and he picked his gun up and he thought it was empty, and he fired a shot. Well, he didn't realise he was doing it. He just went like that and fired. And of course he went right across. If it hit the wall it'd been fine, but it went through the window. And it was actually a break for us, because we weren't up dead area there. And I was in C Company, but in this company, and I always knew his name, Downs, I can't think of his first name, it went through one tent, through another tent, just at the third tent, this fella, because there was 3 of us in the thing, you know, beds there, and just went over this fella's body, as close as that, and it down, and it went in, and his chest, what's the name, you know, dead straight away.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
another chap, I can't think of his name, we were on manoeuvres and he went over the cliff, fell over the cliff, and I was on his funeral as well, because he had to be done straight away, you know,
Yeah.
buried.
So,
But you'd be in your tent, and we'd have the nets to put over the mosquitoes and that, and next minute you see coming across the desert, whirlwinds, you know, so you get in, look down,
Sounds
there's a bit of protection, and oh God, when it gone through, you was covered, all your kit, everything, you'd have to clean it all, you know.
Is that where the thing with the frog happened? Was it a toad?
Scorpion.
That was in
No.
Cyprus.
What happened with that?
We were on manoeuvres and we had to go up to Cyprus
Time for Carol to start
to
laughing
do
again.
manoeuvres against the paratroopers. So we're on like a kind of terrain, lying there, and half of us were asleep. Never got one para, but after that we were there for about 2 weeks or more, and we marched through this village, and I've never ever forgotten, I said to you, didn't I?
The kid
And-
with the flies.
And there was a little lad there, and his face was completely covered in fly. He didn't even bother wearing any, you know, things like that. And never forgot that. But that night, when we were in the I needed to go to the toilet, and all it was you walked into this little square thing, and in the middle was a big hole that you pooed in. So I was bending down and I was a bit constipated and started and had a bloody big piece sticking out my bum, and then next minute this scorpion, the bloody size of it as well, come down the wall. I was watching it, so it'll go somewhere. It started coming towards me, so I ran, had this poo sticking out my arse. I got rid of it eventually. Got rid of it.
Don't take for old Pete and Sundry to see. Sticking out my arms.
But always, and even when I came home, I could take flies out the air, no bother, wouldn't I?
Oh, aye, yeah.
Just no bother, grab
Just used to
flies.
go like that.
Yeah.
Catch 'em.
And also, even to so about 10 years ago, I always, my slippers, go to bed and go like that, empty them in case there was, you know. And once,
Happens.
I was in the tent, light was on, and something dropped on my bloody neck, you know. I thought it was a scorpion, but it wasn't, it was a big thing too. And also, I can remember, we went to this place and it was a big camp or something, and whoever was there had all these guard dogs, and used to, where we were out as like kind of guard things, you were told that once the dogs were released you had to lie perfectly still until they were recalled, you know, because if you moved they'd attack you. So you do all that, and the nights there were quite cold, that, you know, but and on certain times on manoeuvres you'd lie down, and this is genuineness, you know, and yet they were harmless, but the thought now, you'd lie there, and when you got up in the morning you shake yourself and you go, and all these big black beetles
Beetles.
would fall off you, but they were harmless, like, you know, but just the thought, loads of them. Yeah, I remember that.
What happened with the frog?
that was the GPO, wasn't it?
What's that?
The GPO with the frog down your neck.
Frog down there?
Well, that was when he was a kid.
That was when I was a kid.
Was it?
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
In the manhole.
Oh, there was frog's toes and...
Somebody threw the when you were down a
That's it.
manhole, someone threw a frog in at you.
Oh, that was it. No, it threw the bucket down the hole and just missed us. But the funniest thing ever was, when I was in Telecom, and we were on there, did about 6-8 months in it, 12 hours nights, 7
Yeah.
days a week, 91 hours a week. It was brilliant. But when you park your cars up and the tents are over the holes, and you'd go down doing your work, and you come up at, say, 12 o'clock to have some supper, and you'd sit in the van next to me and you think, God, what's happening here? All the fellas from Camel Hills going over the wall, going home. And I don't mean just a few, bloody loads. What Billy, what's his name?
Jones.
Yeah, Billy Jones used to do it. Pay the security people a few bob, you know. Do that. And there, out the ducks coming out, you see these rats, bloody big size, you know.
And what about when you
They
were
went Vauxhall. I was putting all the lines in there, and we were running this perimeter cable along the wire there. And next minute, this bloody big rat ran over my foot, and it was a massive rat. And one of the lads fetched a ratting dog in, because there was all things, you know, mounds of stuff and all like that, rats everywhere, and he killed a few rats. And that was Vauxhall when it was first getting built.
What about when you was working down the manor on the corner and the girl went by?
Oh, not, do you want me to say that? Up in New Ferry, by the toll bar, as you went up towards Ferry, and you walked over to the right side, there was a manhole there.
Rostrances there, didn't it?
Yeah, and there was a manhole there. I was waiting down there, and the guard was, I didn't have the tent up, I had the guard round the hall. And she, next minute, son looked up and this blonde girl was going past, and I whistled, what the heck did she say?
She said to you, you're no gentleman.
You're no gentleman, yeah. And I said, no, and you're no blonde.
How'd you do?
And the best one ever was where is it now, in Oxton somewhere around there. Well, there was two things.
You're here now to come out. There you go.
I went down this side entry, and the houses were there with just like a big brick wall, and just small flag pot thing garden.
Patio.
And yeah, and there was a pole there, and I had to go up the pole to do my work. And as I climbed the pole, I looked in this window, and there's a bit of stuffed ironing in a bra and knickers. So I thought, bloody hell, look at this, eh? I was up the pole. So I shouted to my mates, come and see this. And three others got up, the four of us, and we're looking, and she turned round and saw us, and just like closed the curtain up. But I suppose she thought, you know, there was nothing there, just that pole.
You're not expecting four fellas up a pole to look at you, are you?
And a good one was in Nocturne where I used to have to go and get water for the kettle to boil, you know, with your calagas and that. And I started to walk, a posh place. I walked down this thing, it's all like pebble dashing out, a bit noisy, gorgeous day. And it was small drivers, but a load of bushes. And as I got near it, the best stuff sitting in a deck chair, naked, sunbathing, because all secluded, you know. I thought, Christ, what's she to do? Is she to go back or what? So in the end I said, excuse me.
You hid in the bushes, you liar.
And I tell you what, at Caldy and all this, and bloody posh ones, I went to one house. She said, go round to the tradesman's entrance. I said, okay.
All the way
And
to go.
this other one, you couldn't think that, how dosy she was. I said, any chance of making us a pot of tea? She said, and I had a packet of tea, and I gave it to her, and she went in, and when I come back, she put the old bloody packet in. Honest to God, couldn't believe it.
I thought he was going to say she poured the water in the packet
No,
of
no,
tea.
she come back with the big thing, kettle, and what's her name? Yeah. Do you want to know how we met?
Yeah, but I want you to both tell that
I
story.
won't mention the other thing, but we met at Oxton Road.
Oxon Road, we were walking home, my friend and
I was with my mate Jimmy Curran.
and I was with June Pulford. We were
No,
walking-
he wasn't with you. Pulford, you was with
I wasn't with Winnie. Oh yes, I was. Yeah,
Winnie Thompson.
Winnie Thompson.
yeah, I say I know more than she knows.
Well,
And,
you're older than me.
she was further up the road and we whistled, and next minute
We turned
wa-
round.
I went up, spoke to them, and
And Willie was all for going for the drink.
I
But
said,
your
well,
dad quickly said,
cup
we'll
of
go
tea.
for a coffee or a cup of tea.
And that was
we went to a little cafe on the corner.
where the
It's
big
no
pub
longer
is
there
now.
anymore now. It's a betting shop,
Where?
bottom of Oxton Road.
So were you just literally walking up the road and you saw her and then took her for a
And
cup
we
of
saw
said
tea?
them up the road,
afterwards, we've
yeah.
been to pictures,
Well,
Winnie.
hey, it was someone 80 I was whistling after them.
Anything in the skirt.
Anything in the scare. Yeah. Even when I was out in Berlin, all the Scots fellas there, I was whistling after them with the scare.
Donald, where's your trousers?
Oh my goodness.
We haven't much money, but we do see life.
Mum, tell us about your wedding day.
Oh, what?
When you got married.
I had a powder blue edge
I
to edge
can't remember
coat,
that.
a brown and white spotted dress,
Long time ago, 58
brown
years ago.
accessories. And we got the taxi and went to the registry office in Burton Head. And the registrar stuttered. And my dad had to go out because he was laughing his socks off. He said, and he said, no.
Did you, Dad?
Oh, stop it.
And Jimmy McCulloch and Sadie and my sister were,
Oh, God.
what's her name, what do they call them?
Witnesses.
Witnesses. Then we went out to the restaurant,
To the
didn't we?
hanging.
To the what?
This is to the hanging. Where did we go? Top 20 was it called?
Something like that.
The Top 20 restaurant, and had a meal there. It was all very, very nice. And we had a wedding breakfast when we got home in the middle of the afternoon. It was a fun day.
Where at Nan and Grandad's?
Yeah.
Dingle Road.
Violet and Roy came, didn't they?
Yeah.
Dad, tell us one of your stories about on the bus.
On the buses. When you blew over
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
oh, then they had little holes in the, well, not
I
holes.
remember them.
Do you remember them?
Yeah.
They buttoned there, but the,
I was working down Birkenhead for Telecom, and the police station was being built then by, what's it called now, the building?
the town hall.
The town hall. And we were waiting away in there, and suddenly felt, oh God, I've got to go to the toilet. And I was waiting for the fella, we call him Careful Sammy Sims, because he was, you know, you'd work with him, and when he was plumbing, and you put the air in the pressure, he'd just say, well, just try it once more.
Alright, it's recording again, so you were just saying, if you tell that
I
story
was waiting
again.
for this chap at Telecom, we call him Careful Sammy Sims, because he was a real fussy fella. And I said to him, listen Sam, I said, I'll have to get going. I said, bears to go to the toilet. He said, oh, just brush up a few things and all like that. And it was covered in dust, it was just like a shell getting built. And we were just putting the lines in. So I did that, and I said to him, can I go now? And it was only about 5 minutes before time to go. So he said, all right. So come out and had my overalls on, and my pants, and my underpants, and started running down to one side to the toilet. There was a ladies' and a gents' toilet there. And halfway down I shit myself. And I was absolutely covered. So I shot into the toilet, went in,
Nothing's changed.
and took my pants off, my underpants. I thought, well, I'm not leaving them here, like, let's clean myself up. I tried to wipe it off, but the smell was bloody awful. So I thought, what should I do? But luckily I had my overalls. But when I put them on, I had big bare patches in them at the sides and all like that. But so I put the soil stuff in my bag to fetch me food, but there's bloody smell. And I thought, well, I'm not walking home from here, it's a bloody... what's your name, the road again? Yeah, Vicky Road. And so I thought, what should I do? So I bugger it. So I went out and got on the 64, I think it was, which stopped outside there. And when I sat down, I was sitting next to this woman, and next minute the smell was there. And I was kind of going looking around as if it was some bugger else, you know. So, and when I got off the bus, I was that bloody made up. And that was that. But the second incident, and you'd never believe it, but it's the truth. We used to go, I followed Trammy Road for years, and he had the station down there at Woodside. And with me and our Jimmy went up to see Trammy play at Wrexham, come back, and as we come out, I said, oh, I need to go to the toilet. And the gent was there, and the lady's here, and as we walked across, our Jimmy jumped on the 64 because he was going home, and went upstairs. So I actually walked in the ladies, and I went, because I wanted to go to the toilet for a poo, and I thought, that's strange, you don't have to put bloody money in this, like, you know. And I went back out, got on the bus today to him, we got blah blah blah, and he gave it me. And I walked in the same bloody toilet, didn't I? So put the money in, went in, sitting there, next minute I heard a woman's voice. I thought, and a kiddie's voice. I thought, bloody women don't normally come in a gent's toilet. And his son dawned on me, Christ, I'm in a bloody lady's toilet. What am I going to do? So I thought, right, I finished what I was doing. Then I thought, right, now I'll hang on another couple of minutes. And then it went all quiet, right now. And as I went out, the woman cleaner was there. And she looked at me, I looked at her. I said, I'm awful sorry, come in her own toilet. And just dashed out. And well, the funny thing about it was, there was a fella standing outside waiting for his bit of stuff for that. And I just said, I went to the wrong toilet, mate. And then into the gents, you know. Yeah, I've forgotten that now, haven't I?
Tell them about...
I've had an adventure life.
Yeah, tell them about when... Shit and good one. Tell them about when you went in the shop for the Fanta. The fella stuttering.
Oh,
Go on, yeah, it was funny.
that was... No.
Oh
maybe
yeah,
that.
please,
Go
Dad,
on.
that's a good
I was
one.
at Chigger Road School, and we used to come out from there and walk to the shops and go and buy, well, there was a chippy there and different things like that. And I was in this shop, and between the shop, there was a narrow entrance like that to the next shop. And I walked in this shop, and I was standing there, and this fella come in with, Henry Cowley. And I just tickled it, couldn't help it.
What did you say?
Pardon, Henry Cowley. And that was it. I burst out laughing, and as I burst out laughing, my snot come down my nose. So I went like that with my hand. I'm in this little gap. Well, it's a fairly wide gap. I went like that round the corner to wipe it, and this bloody lad was standing there, the school lad.
What was he actually saying?
Any sandwich.
But what did he say?
You had a hair up, you Henry Hellman. Oh, God, I love us.
Dear me.
Oh dear.
Right, thank you very much.
You ever heard about the explosion?
Yeah.
Where the markers that burned down, behind that was a load of manholes that we were working in. And you always, when you went down, you tested for gas, you put the probe up the duct. And for the gas, because it was dangerous, like, you know. And it was alright. So we were working there, and Jimmy Lawrence was down there, and I come up. And next minute, I don't know how it happened, but it did. He had the torch, and he was plumbing up right close to this duct. And gas must have come down. And we'd never believe him. Luckily, it didn't hit him, like it suddenly shot up the duct. And all these manholes, there's about 5 of them, and the big heavy covers popped up.
Oh,
And
up in the air.
the fella come to interview us and put it in the paper. He got a lot of bloody names wrong. And didn't even say Telecom, it was supposed to be the gas board.
It was
Oh, dear.
GPO, wasn't it?
You could write a book, couldn't you, Mum?
At
Yeah.
the time.
Oh dear me.
So.
That's the adventures of Billy Martin.
Get what?
What's that going to do with Spandau Prison?
Bloody wee
If the Germans kicked him.